Hey, what's going on, you Sec Plus preppers? These are the IT Dojo Security Plus questions of the day, where each and every day we ask you 2 preparation questions to help you as you continue to study for your exam. I'm Colin Weaver. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, in our first question today, you are assessing the security of the IT Dojo's public-facing web server. In addition to running HTTP services, you know that this server also runs Secure Shell or SSH. And from a terminal at your computer, you issue the command nc www.itdojo.com space 22, and you hit enter and you get some results back. What is the term used to describe what it is that you're doing by issuing this command? Check out this list of options right here. Find the one that best matches up what you're trying to accomplish. Click pause if you need to read them through, and then as soon as you click play again, we'll go ahead and break it down. What this particular command is doing is pretty much a textbook example of what we call banner grabbing. Banner grabbing is when you go in and connect to a particular port in order to see how the service that's listening on the port responds back, in order to give you some insight and information as to which version of a service is running there. The benefit of that to you as an attacker is going to be that you are then able to go in and sort of match up the service with known vulnerabilities so that you can go in and attempt to exploit it. Now, that's what it says in all the books. There's a little more to it than that. You can use either netcat, which is what we did in this example. You can also just use telnet and telnet to a port and see what the server responds back with. But keep in mind that just because a particular server is running a particular version of itself, so if you're running, say, version 5.3 of an OpenSSH server or something like that, that doesn't necessarily mean that that server is going to be vulnerable to version 5.3 vulnerabilities. It's perfectly plausible that the vulnerability could have been patched, but the banner that you see when you connect to the service doesn't get updated. Also keep in mind that it's perfectly plausible that people could go in and change what the banner states or how it reads. That is very much some security through obscurity kind of stuff to do, but it would slow the attacker down a little bit and them trying to figure out exactly which version of a service you are running. So by no means should you use changing your banners or not showing banners at all as a mechanism to prevent people from being able to compromise your systems. You need to focus on the bigger picture, but keep in mind, whether you're on the forces of good or the forces of evil for going in and doing this, that the banners are not necessarily always truthful. All right, here comes question number 2. Of the following choices that you see listed right there, which of them is the best mechanism to serve as the first line of defense against SQL injection attacks, command injection attacks, and buffer overflow attacks? Go ahead, give the list a look, think about it, click pause if you need to. When you're ready, click play again, and we'll talk it through. All right, you've had a chance to check it over. The best answer that you're looking for right here is input validation. Now, input validation can happen on the client side. It can also happen on the server side. If you don't want to just do it on the client side because it can be circumvented, so if you're going to do it on the client side, is to improve performance and efficiency and give the user quicker responses. If you're going to use it on the server side, it's going to be to make sure that you're not allowing malformed data to be presented to your application. And that's one of the key components of this. Now, it's not the primary way that you're going to go in and defend yourself against these kinds of things, but it is a line of defense in the process of doing that. One of the ways you can do this, if you look at how forms and things like that behave on a web page or on a web app that somebody's going in and making use of, is to make sure that if the field is supposed to contain data of a certain type, impose rules that make it contain that type. If it's supposed to be a date or supposed to be a phone number field or supposed to be a currency amount or something like that, enforce those rules, make it be that. Don't go in and just have every single field be some variable character field that people can kind of put whatever they want into. Now, that's not quite as easy if you're going in and dealing with fields that by their very nature are going to have variable characters in them, such as what you might find in comments in a blog post or on a news group, or not a news group, but an internet forum or something like that. News groups. Who uses news groups anymore? Don't flame me for that. I know somebody out there still uses news groups. So your input validation is going to go in and really define what kind of data is acceptable in a particular field, and then have minimum and maximum amounts of data that can be put into those fields. That's just step number 1 of making sure that you're getting the good and appropriate type of data, rather than the bizarre stuff that people do when they're going in and trying SQL injection and things of that nature. All right, there we go. That's 2 questions down. First question was on banner grabbing and basically what is it? And then we talked a little bit about some of the things you might think about associated with banner grabbing in terms of its overall usefulness and effectiveness. And then the second question went in and really kind of just laid out the basics of why input validation serves as a first line of defense for defending yourself against SQL injection attacks, command injection, and buffer overflow and things of that nature. So hopefully you found these questions to be cool. If you did, again, please find the like button down there and click on it. I really like that and need you to do that. I also would very much like it if you subscribe so you can get these questions every single day. So as you continue to do your prep, I'll send you a notification every single time there's a new question. And you can also go back and look at all the previous questions that we've done before. So thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow.